Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. My friends, when it comes to power scaling, it can be difficult trying to figure out which character can beat who in a fight when they're very similar to each other, and also you have to prove as to why one character can beat another character, like the famous Goku vs Superman fight. Now, when you look at Goku and Superman, it is a open and shut case when it comes to Goku, because when it comes to his base form gets stronger as the series goes on. And as the series goes on, you get new techniques and new transformations and new abilities and so on and so on. So you get the strongest base form that Goku's got up to the end of his series. And just for example, you could say, okay, Goku's base form power can destroy a solar system, for example. And then when you put in the Kaioken, then the Super Saiyan 1 form, 2, 3, and then depending on which series you're talking about, you can be GT or Zeno or Super. So let's just say, for example, we go through the Super path. Goku in this area can go Super Saiyan God, and then he can go Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue, and go Kaioken times 2 all the way to 20, and then he can go Ulman, and then Ultra Instinct, and he has a giant form, and now in the manga, he can go Super Saiyan God with the Ultra Instinct, which gives him even more power. So yeah, it is an open and closed case when it comes to Goku, depending on the path that you want Goku to go. Again, you can either go Dragon Ball Z, and you can either go GT or Super. But just for example, I use the Super Goku. And yeah, there are other versions of Goku, and I use Super Goku just for an example. So it would be Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super Goku. That's one version of Goku. Now, when it comes to someone like Superman, there are loads and loads and loads of versions of Superman. Golden Age, Silver Age, God of Steel, Injustice. There are like literally loads of versions of Superman. And if someone was to say, okay, Goku versus Superman, who would win? You would say, okay, which version of Superman are you talking about? And yes, Goku does fall into this category too, but it's more simpler when it comes to Goku. But there are loads of variants of Superman, and going from weakest version to the most powerful version would take time. And it depends on the Superman that you're using, really. But now, let's have a look at somebody like Naruto versus Ichigo. Yeah, we're going to get to the meat of this video. When it came to Death Battles, Naruto versus Ichigo, these guys had no idea how Ichigo's forms work. There wasn't just transformations that Ichigo could go to willingly. It's the same with Naruto, but in Naruto's case, there are just one or two forms that he can't access on his own, and that's unlike one or two of them. But unlike Ichigo, Naruto is actually more consistent when it comes to his forms, or transformations. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, there are like one or two transformations that he can't do anymore, like his ultimate form in Boruto, and using the Nine-Tails cloak from one tail to all the way to the Nine-Tails cloak, which we can presume that he would have been the complete Nine-Tails if he carried on with his fight against Pain, because we did see a skinless Nine-Tail Fox in that fight. So yeah, back to the point. When it comes to Naruto, he has transformations and forms that he can go into willingly at any time he wants, up to a certain point. Like, he doesn't have the Nine-Tails inside of him anymore. But let's just say, for example, that there was going to be a Naruto vs Ichigo round 2, and at this time of the story, Naruto doesn't have the Nine-Tails inside of him anymore, and we've seen his ultimate form within Boruto. So let's just say, for example, that this was Naruto's ultimate form, and there was going to be another fight between Naruto and Ichigo. I think Naruto should keep all of his forms, like when he had the Nine-Tail Fox inside of him. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong, he still has the Sage mode, even without the Nine-Tails. But let's just say, for example, that there was a round 2 with Naruto versus Ichigo. I would still want to see Naruto versus Ichigo, but I would also like to see Naruto with the Nine-Tail Fox within him. Because let's just say, for example, that Death Bell decided to have a round 2 with Naruto versus Ichigo. They wouldn't let Naruto use the Nine-Tails. And you know what? I don't want that. I want to see Naruto with the Nine-Tail Fox versus Ichigo. So up to the point where Naruto had his ultimate form within Boruto, he can still access all the forms and transformations that he can do willingly. I made a video about this some time ago, all forms of Naruto versus all forms of Ichigo. That video will explain what I'm trying to say, so if you guys can go check that out, please do. And you basically know how Naruto's forms work. You can go to the next form, or you can mix his forms into one, and he has them all, well, most of them, on hand whenever he needs them, up to the point where he gets his ultimate form. But then, after when he uses his ultimate form, he can't access certain forms anymore. So, let's just say for example that Naruto and Ichigo was to have a round 2. I think Naruto should still have the Nine-Tailed Beast inside of him, up until he's finally finished using his ultimate form like it was in Boruto. It's an open and shut case when it comes to Naruto. But when it comes to Ichigo, he is a very, very complicated case. Because when it comes to Naruto or Goku or Superman, there are certain forms of Ichigo, well, most forms of Ichigo, that he can't access at any time he wants. There are some forms that he can't access anymore. There are some forms that activate when he's about to die. There are forms that he had for a while, but he can't use them anymore. You see, when it comes to Ichigo, his power fluctuates. Oh, I lost my power. Oh, I regained it. Oh, I have a new berserk form. Oh, I've lost all my power again. Oh, I can now control my mask. There are forms of Ichigo that he can't control or he can't access anytime he wants. And that's the problem when it comes to Ichigo. If you're a Bleach fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, when it comes to most characters, you know all about the weakest to powerful variants of one character like Superman. There's the transformations that get more powerful as they get more of them like Goku and Naruto. And there are like one or two forms that Naruto and Goku can't do anymore. Like Goku's Ozora form because he hasn't got the tail anymore. And there's also the Nine Tails cloak that Naruto can't do anymore simply because he befriended the Nine Tails. So now it won't go berserk anymore. But mostly, there are loads of transformations that they can access anytime they want, up to the point of their series. But again, with Ichigo, like I said, he gains power, he loses power, he regains it, and he gets more power with that, and then he gets more power with that, and then his power gets out of control, and then he gets a berserker form, and then he gets an ultimate form, and then he loses all his power, and he regains his power in a different way, and then it's taken away again, and then he gets his old powers back, and then his sword gets destroyed, and then it's reforged to make it even more powerful, and then there was the one-time transformation in Hell. Ichigo's transformations and forms are all over the place, and the way Death Battle did it with Ichigo was completely unfair. And the way they said how Ichigo's powers are within the series, I mean, these guys don't even know what the hell they're even talking about. Oh, okay, we're gonna times something on every one of Ichigo's forms or transformations. They had absolutely no idea what they was talking about, and I'm sure they've confused or convinced people that this is how Ichigo's forms work. And that is not the case. That is not how it works. It's not like Goku's Super Saiyan forms where it goes, okay, Super Saiyan 1 is 50 times, Super Saiyan 2 is 100 times. That is not how it works. And that's exactly why I made this video. I'm asking all the Bleach YouTubers, especially the power scalers, I want to ask those guys if you could explain to everybody which forms of Ichigo is the weakest all the way to the most powerfulest form throughout the entire series. Because again, unlike Goku or Naruto, he can't just power up to whatever form he wants to. I mean, yeah, with some he can, but there are forms and transformations that he can't do on his own, or he's incapable of doing now. Hell, Death Battle thought that Final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo was Ichigo's most powerful form, which it wasn't. But let's just say, for example, that somebody made a Ichigo vs Naruto Fight 2. What exactly could they do? And it hit me. Instead of going through the character's transformation as they went on story-wise, why don't they fight the characters from their weakest forms all the way to the most powerful forms? And that's exactly what I would like to see a Bleach YouTuber do. I would like to see the Bleach YouTube community sort out which forms of Ichigo is the weakest all the way to the strongest. So that way, if somebody does make a part 2 fight, they can go through all of Ichigo's forms from weakest to strongest. But the problem is, which forms of Ichigo is the weakest all the way to the strongest? I mean, yeah, I've got the general idea of which transformation is the most powerful version of Ichigo, but if we was to put Ichigo's forms all in order, and Ichigo in his most weakened state, with his spiritual power, which transformations of Ichigo is the most weakest to the powerfulest? And that's exactly what I'm asking the Bleach community. If Ichigo was at a certain level in his human form, and then he transformed into his most weakest form he's had in the series, and we went up to the next stage, which is the most powerful form after that, and we continued until we reached Ichigo's most powerful form he's had in the series, which would be Fused Hollow Ichigo. Yeah, you heard me, Death Battle? It's Fused Hollow Ichigo, not Final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo. And I think that's the way that we should have Ichigo, from his weakest form all the way to his most powerful form, regardless if he can activate it himself or not, or if he doesn't have it anymore. And every character should be like this when it comes to their variants. Like, for example, Iron Man. There are loads of versions of Tony Stark, but there are like loads of Iron Man suits from different dimensions, different timelines, different series, etc, etc. So to sort this out, you should have one Tony Stark and get every single suit from every series, every comic book, every animated series, and live action series, and put every suit from weakest to strongest. So that way, whoever Tony is facing off against, we can see how powerful the guy is who was beaten by Tony Stark's most powerful suit. It would be kind of something like that. But the problem is, we need the bleach YouTubers to tell us which forms of Ichigo is the weakest all the way to the strongest. I mean, even I don't know. And you see this chart, This chart is my best guess as to which forms of Ichigo is the most weakest to the most powerfulest. Oh yeah, I also forgot his out of control holoform. Now, I've had some people say this is a good chart. I've also had some people say, oh no, this form of Ichigo is weaker or powerful than this form. Now, the thing is, this was just a random guess on how I think all the forms of Ichigo is from weakest to strongest. But the thing is, I'm a Bleach fan, not a Bleach power scaler. And this is exactly what I would like to see a Bleach YouTuber do, telling us all the forms of what Ichigo had, and which one is the most weakest to the most powerfulest, and all their scaling. So if there's any takers out there, if you guys want to fix this chart and put all the forms that Ichigo has from weakest to strongest, please do, because this will do two things. It'll let us know which forms of Ichigo is the weakest or strongest, and two, it'll make it easier to understand Ichigo's power, and tells us which forms is the weakest or strongest. And also, we need someone to explain to us on what all these forms can do. So if there's any Bleach YouTubers out there that wants to power scale Ichigo's forms, then please do, because I would rather see a fight between Ichigo and Naruto when it's weakest or strongest with Ichigo, instead of story-wise when it comes to his forms. Yeah, I'm still mad at Death Battle on what they did to Ichigo. They had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. So, what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you like this chart? Do you want to know how powerful each of Ichigo's forms are? Do you think Death Battle is full of crap? Do you guys want to see a rematch? Please let me know in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribestar. It's like Patreon, but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.